Hey guys, how's it going? This is BillyEatWorld, and today we're going to be taking a look at the DMRs in hardcore. I've been playing a lot of hardcore over the last few weeks, and I've got to say, it's been a lot of fun. I tend to play with DMRs a lot in vanilla, so I was pretty keen to try them out in hardcore, and honestly, I've been pretty impressed so far. If you're not already familiar with how hardcore works, basically the main difference is that you only have 60% health, and there's a limited HUD with no minimap. There's also no hit markers, you can't spot, you lose remaining rounds when you reload, and friendly fire is turned on. All of these differences change the balance of weapons dramatically, and by far the weapons that benefit the most are the hard-hitting weapons like the bolt actions and the DMRs. The hard-hitting DMRs, which in vanilla are a 3-shot kill at all ranges, are only a 2-shot kill in hardcore. The smaller caliber DMRs like the SKS and QBU are improved as well, but they still take 3 shots to kill at long range, and this can make it hard to consistently take out targets unless you've got a lot of experience with DMRs to begin with. Probably the best thing about DMRs in hardcore though is that they will all kill with a single headshot at all ranges, and considering that you can fire multiple shots at a target in fairly quick succession, you've got a pretty good chance of landing at least one headshot. This makes them especially deadly to enemy recons using bolt actions, who you're bound to come across a fair bit more in hardcore. Now obviously all of the guns in game are going to need less shots to kill as well, but the reason the DMRs benefit from this so much more is because it's so much easier to land 2 shots at long range than it is to land 3. Unfortunately, in close quarters DMRs are still going to have a hard time, as they always do, but at the end of the day you shouldn't be using a DMR in close quarters to begin with. So anyway, what I thought I'd do with this video is run you guys through my top 5 tips for using DMRs in hardcore. This obviously isn't a complete list of everything that you should be doing with a DMR in hardcore, and I'm not pretending to be the best hardcore player in the world. These are just 5 things that have really helped me out playing in this mode over the last few weeks, and hopefully they'll help you guys out as well. So to kick off my list at number 5 is use a headset, or at least use headphones. In hardcore you can't spot enemy team members, so you'll need to communicate with your squad a lot more so that you know what's going on. Even if you don't have a mic, just listening into a squad who is talking in game chat can help you out with this. At the very least, using headphones will allow you to hear enemies even if you can't see them, and unlike with normal speakers, most of the time you can get a good sense of direction when using headphones. Also, get to know what the different soldier calls sound like, and get to know the difference between the calls of your own country and the calls of the enemy country. If you hear someone yell grenade in English and you're playing on the Russian side, well clearly it's an enemy player and you should be trying to find them. So at number 4 is use the big map to help you find enemy players. Tactical awareness is really important when you're using DMRs because you really want to try and keep distance between yourself and enemies. Unfortunately, in hardcore this is a lot harder with no minimap, so you'll need to use the big map instead. The big map is on the next tab over from the in-game scoreboard and will give you a lot of information that the minimap normally does. This is particularly useful for staying out of the way of enemy vehicles or locating enemy snipers, but unfortunately it's a bit too slow to use in CQB. What I usually do at the start of a game is pull up the scoreboard and switch it straight over to the big map. That way you can pull it up whenever you need it by using just one button. So at number 3 is use the PLD or the XM25 to find targets. If you snipe a lot, you'd probably already be used to doing this, but if you don't already use the PLD or the XM25 to find targets, basically the reason why they help so much is because they have thermal displays which pop out targets in bright white. They both also have the added advantage of being able to range find, which isn't so useful in vanilla, but in hardcore when you only need 1 or 2 shots to kill, targets beyond 200 meters are actually viable targets. If you learn to use the PLD or the XM25 well and you use it often, then you'll find that you'll get the drop on enemies most of the time and you'll get more kills. At number 2 is learn to manage your reloads. Like I said before, when you reload in hardcore you lose any remaining rounds that you still had in your magazine. Running out of rounds completely will often get you killed, so to avoid this you'll need to make sure that you reload as infrequently as possible. Another thing that doesn't help with ammo management is that the limited HUD in hardcore doesn't show you how many rounds that you have left. Sometimes you can count how many rounds you've fired, but most of the time you'll forget, and if you're not careful this can force a reload halfway through a firefight. If you're like me and you can't help reloading after every kill, then you're best off running support, but if you really want to run with another class, you'll have to learn to break the habit. And finally, at number 1 is be passive and be patient, which is probably the most important thing that you need to remember when trying to use DMRs in hardcore. Usually taking any fire whatsoever in hardcore is a death sentence, and usually whoever fires first will get the kill. This means that you want to see your enemy before he sees you, and the way to do this is not to run around for no reason. DMRs work best when you're in a position of power overlooking an objective from 50 to 100 meters away, so rushing the objective itself is never a good idea. Most of the time, you're far better off finding a good position and supporting the rest of your squad by taking out the enemy team. So just bear this in mind before your squad assaults any objective and you'll stay alive a lot longer. But anyway, that just about wraps up my list, so to finish up this video, what do you guys think about DMRs in hardcore and the hardcore mode in general? Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and as always, if you like what you see, please remember to like, comment and subscribe. If you haven't already, please check out all my other Battlefield 4 videos. I've got them all linked in a playlist in the description below. And until next time, see you later and have a good one.